Alright, well, since the last restart, I went ahead and built those golems. So we've got a straw golem out back harvesting. We've got our wood golem out there also helping out.
Yes, but what about the books? The books of leather.
It's not my fault that your books suck.
Well, in here, I have a big bowl of mashed potatoes and pasta. Two best things in the world, you guys. What the hell? You broke the door. You broke the door.
What's going on here?
Door's broke. I like how we both ran up to the door and just face planted.
Why is it not opening?
I don't know. It's not like we updated the client.
No, it didn't.
Oh, don't worry. I know my way out.
No, don't mess with anything.
What are you talking about? All I did was go through the portal. Holy shit, look at those monsters. The world in between knows all, Chris.
Doubtful.
Oh, where are you?
Why is this not...
Just working away. Oh.
This is why, you bastard.
Why?
Why is there a hole in the ceiling?
Ceiling? I didn't punch a hole in the ceiling.
Don't tell me that. You fired lasers randomly everywhere, didn't you? You know what this means. It means we're going to have to hook up something that's probably going to crash the server.
No. What is it? When I first spawned in the world, I was shot. I was like missing around, right? Because nothing loaded. And then I hear a laser shoot, and I'm like, what the hell? I'm pretty sure I didn't have the laser as my primary. Also explains where I shot. I was wondering where I shot it. But now.
Why am I missing bricks?
Doors work.
We're lucky, because that could have crashed.
Bees. Why don't you just plant more flowers down? It's not like us we don't have enough of them.
I put the flowers back.
Yes.
The problem wasn't the fact that the flowers weren't here so much as the fact that the server might have been running and wasting time. Because those bees will take forever. We need, like, easy 10 stacks of those bees.
I've been playing
just to turn them into liquid.
I've been playing too much, that unturned.
Take like a week.
Freaking. I've been, like, pushing tab to get to my inventory.
That's a terrible inventory system. Terrible.
Chris, you have terrible inventory.
That's not very nice.
You wouldn't develop anything as convenient as drag, click and drag.
No one wants that. No one wants that kind of functionality.
I do. I love it. Today was my first day at school. It's pretty. It was my first day at school, ma. It was pretty okay for what it was.
What'd you do there?
Just environmental science and astronomy. Man, environmental science, I'm telling you, like I'm really close to that teacher. I mean, imagine a conference call. Conference, like you go meet someone, and you're gonna talk to them about a job interview or something.
Mm-hmm.
And you pretty much are sitting across from each other.
Yeah.
That's pretty much how close I'm sitting.
I was just imagining like you lift your shirt and his heart's connected to your heart. That's just 4.
I feel fair about the teacher. He's all about equal and opposite actions. And
there's no such thing. No such thing.
For environmental scientists, I'm like, yeah, it makes sense. And then I read like the first chapter of the textbook, and man, that was like the most hippie thing I've ever read. It's like, yo, man, the oiled greenhouse gases, they're dangerous. And I'm like, I don't know if we should be reading this.
Propaganda.
Don't listen to the man.
Man's just there to put you down. Now fill out this application so we can tell the man to use the man's power.
And I mean, I like the teacher, but That textbook, I don't know if that's a really excellent textbook. I think he's going to just primarily use it for case study. I mean, I've heard that word bounce around like all over the place, right?
Uh-huh.
So I was like, okay, it's going to be one of those books. And sure enough, it is one of those books. It's just, we're going to read the book. Here's a case scenario. Here's how it played out in real life. You learned it. Move on to the next one.
Yeah, I feel like when you go to a school and you actually have a class, that they don't really use the book too much. You know?
Yeah.
Like, they only use books for references and whatnot.
But so far, I think the teacher just wants to just educate more about cause and effect. And how other cultures react with that. Which is odd. So, on the way to school, I was telling Alexis, watch Alexis, there's going to be that one guy. There's going to be that one guy. We all know that guy. That guy that thinks he's smarter than the teacher. So he talks. Because because anyone who is intelligent enough knows they're not smarter than the teacher. Even if the teacher doesn't know what they're talking about, at least they know not to, interrupt the teacher.
Yeah.
And just keep the mouth shut. Sure enough, there was that one guy in my first class. The teacher was like, oh yeah, and you're going to have a presentation project in it. Yeah, we all love those, right? And then there's that smart ass guy. No. And then, so I was like, okay, no problem, right? I thought it was just like a random comment because, he really hates him or something, right? And he's like, oh, don't worry, no one really cares. And he's like, yeah, but I care. And he's doing like this more aleck remarks. And I'm thinking to myself, there's that guy.
It's all also real. It's surreal.
Astronomy. Ooh, astronomy was fun though. It was the first case scenario. It's like, we calculated what a sidereal day is. Pretty much how long it takes the Earth to make a complete rotation.
Sidereal.
Sidereal. Sidereal.
Like solar system?
Oh, fuck it, I can't pronounce
like
it.
Solitarial or celestial?
Yeah. No, sidereal.
I don't know what that is.
Let me find it. Let me see if I can pull it up. If I am pronouncing it right. Sidereal. Yeah, sidereal. Sidereal.
Huh.
So side real.
That is a weird word. I've never heard that.
It's pretty much the amount of time it takes the Earth to do a complete rotation. No, it's not equivalent to the time.
Oh, you mean rotation instead of like circumference around the sun kind of thing.
Yeah, a complete rotation of its own,
Of its own axis.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, it's not equivalent to... Keep in mind, he has... Keep in mind, this teacher's pretty crazy. I knew Alexis warned me about him, but I didn't think it was going to be that crazy.
What?
Considering, like...
You blanked out on me, Aven. You blanked out on me.
Chris, what's happening? You blinking?
Did your internet just explode?
Why are you quiet? The fuck's going on?
What just happened, Aven?
I don't know.
What did you just...
What?
Oh, you've been disconnected. Oh god, what's happening? What does it say? Generic reason. So it sounds like your internet is having a meltdown.
It's weird. Well, freaking Blake got, like, Xfinity, and I'm like, we gotta upgrade.
When Blake got it, you were just like, what the hell are we doing?
Yeah, and I'm like, we have to.
Oh, I didn't realize I had any honey. What the hell?
Which is weird. I don't know. I would like to bother them about it, but fuck, I'm too busy. Fucking, let's go.
Why? Why is this a Pure Meadows? Is this what I wanted? I forget.
So, you do know that, like, the North Star is named Polaris?
Polaris? Okay, yeah.
And, no, I didn't know that.
I didn't know it was named Polaris, but,
I saw a YouTube channel, and I was just like, I don't know, whatever. And, like, this teacher likes to have, like, 3 names for everything, even though they're the same thing. So, what is it? Oh, fuck. Excuse me for a moment.
What have you found out about Polaris?
So, pretty much, the amount of time it takes for the for the Earth to do a complete rotation is not equivalent to the amount of time for it to do a whole solar day. And a whole solar day is pretty much the amount of time it takes for the sun to go from noon to noon, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, of course, on Earth it's 24 hours. On the moon, it's, I don't know how the moon works, so yeah, the moon has its own time schedule to make a whole solar day. So does Mars. Well, apparently, the amount of time it takes for the Earth to do a complete rotation is completely different than that. Completely, because of positioning in its orbit, etc. Yeah. So, the fun part was, okay, I have to find out how fast the Earth rotates, or how long it takes it to rotate, from only photographs that was pointed at the North Star. Keep in mind, the North Star isn't exactly 100% north. It's just like the closest.
Of course not.
It's complete. It's the only star that's closest to north. So you had to find north, and then out of that, you were supposed to find the angles of these stars, and then out of that angle, you were supposed to calculate how long it took the Earth to rotate during that duration, and then you would calculate the entire rest of the day. And
it's going to be interesting when the north becomes south, so then would the North Star still be called the North Star?
well, it's not North Star anymore. It's known as Polaris, so I don't know complications.
I guess they would just call it the South Star.
And after that, what did they call it?
Where the hell did you get a beacon?
Shut up.
How did you get a beacon?
We had this.
You destroyed it, remember? Didn't you? With the laser?
Yeah. Yes, I did.
So then how did you get it back?
I made it.
Did you use the star that we had left that we could copy?
Why would we want to copy it if we could get another one?
Because we could copy them.
But we can get another one. Oh, this is not fun to go get another one. Come on, Chris. We could go fight another again. I mean, yeah, go with another, my friend. Come on, Nether.
You bastard, you wasted our resources. Go ahead and build your beacon again, then.
I did. I did.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did. You broke it?
Yes.
Oh my god, Chris. You better shot it down. Fuck.
I deleted it for unauthorized use of the star.
Unauthorized use of the Polaris star. Oh, and then we had the good fun part of last assignment of the day was to calculate what happens if the Earth was able to do a full orbit around the sun twice as fast, and how that would affect a normal day. So, in other words, instead of 360 days that it would take to go around the sun, it's half that. But how does it affect the day itself? Not, okay? Well, and that was fun. And then we had to find out how would it affect it if the Earth just completely rotated backwards.
I don't know if that would really be all that different.
It really isn't all that.
Like the whole going around the sun faster might be a little bit different in that, the accuracy of day would be kind of weird.
Well, honest to God, the only thing it changes per day is it adds 4 minutes.
Right.
It literally only adds 4 minutes. If we could travel around the sun twice as fast, it would only add 4 minutes.
Well, I guess it would make sense considering, the whole rotation. Because it'd be like, a sine wave of sorts or a cosine wave.
Because the Earth is still rotating on itself.
Yeah.
And it won't change much.
Yeah.
But the amount of times, even though it's just like only a few seconds throughout a year, I mean, even though it's a few seconds every hour that the sun, long story short, the sun gets 4 additional hours on the surface. Like 2 additional days, two additional minutes. There we go. 2 additional day and night minutes are added in exchange for its acceleration around the sun. And that's just the fact of just going around the sun twice as fast, not us rotating. That's a completely different story. Now, if we were to rotate backwards, though, that would affect how we hit the sun in general. Because us, completely rotating backwards, well, you know how it is. It's like, how should I state it? It takes waveform minutes if you rotate backwards because you hit the sun before you... How should I explain that? It's hard to explain because you have X, you sort of like have an X and a Y, and of course off of that you base how you rotate. So how should I say? So long story short, if we were to rotate backwards, we would lose 4 minutes in a day. Thus, it would be 23 hours and 56 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Well, keep in mind, I learned today that a sidereal cycle, right? How long it takes how long it takes the Earth to rotate. The amount of time it takes the Earth to make a complete rotation is 23 and 56 minutes. So if we lose 4 minutes going backwards, one sidereal day would be equivalent to 1 solar day, thus making 1 complete rotation backwards would be equal. But for some odd reason, God was like, I'm going to make this, you know what? Man thinks he's smarter than me. I'm going to make this planet spin counterclockwise, and when it spins counterclockwise, I'll add 4 minutes.
I don't really see how it would add 4 minutes, though, because of the fact that, like, if we were straight up and down, if we were straight up and down axis, rotating backwards and forwards would have no meaning. It would just mean north, east, and west get confused, and that's it. Because it would be even. Yes?
Wait, what are you talking about?
If the axis was straight, right?
Okay.
If we were just north-south, the same as the sun, right?
Okay. Yeah, we're looking right at the sun.
If we rotated left or right, they would be basically the same. The only difference would be the sun would set in the east or west because of this.
Oh.
Right? There'd be no change in time.
What are you talking about?
If we were straight up and down, like there would be no added or lost minutes from reversing the direction of the rotation.
No, because it's our position inside that orbit around the sun.
What do you mean?
All right. For example, take for instance, this is the sun, right? This tree is the sun.
Yeah.
If I'm looking at the tree right now, pretend I'm Chicago, right?
Yeah.
My face is Chicago, and I'm looking at the sun. This is noon, right? Obviously, me looking at it directly on is noon. It's Chicago, right?
Yeah.
Now, as I spin, and I stop spinning right here after 24 hours,
yeah,
I'm still facing this direction after 24 hours. I'm not looking at the sun anymore. The sun is at... What? Yeah, if you look at it straight on, that's noon. You take 2 steps left, 2 steps up. The sun isn't at noon anymore.
No.
No. What? What do you not... What?
What? We were talking about the Earth's rotation like this.
Yeah, the Earth's rotation.
Yes. Yeah. So this way would be no different than this way, really.
No, that would be completely different.
Why would it be completely? Well, I mean, it would be inverted.
Well, because all right, you remember when I took 2 steps left and 2 steps right?
Yeah.
Well, I have to wait 4 additional minutes to look at the tree again, because I'm spinning, left. Now, if I was spinning right, I would get over here, but instead of waiting 4 minutes, it's actually subtracting 4 minutes because I rotated it to it earlier, as opposed to before. Because to get from in front of the tree to, this position at, let's say, 3 o'clock, I literally had to spin counterclockwise this way, and then hit the tree. Now the other way, if the Earth was to rotate backwards, I'm taking my 2 steps, right? I'm rotating, but instead I'm rotating clockwise. Thus, I'm hitting the tree at 10 instead of noon. Yeah. So long story short, if the Earth was to rotate backwards, it's all about perspective. It's all about perspective. Which is the extra credit report, like extra credit assignment that he wants us to do, if willing to do it. Which is like make a, what do they call these?
Solar system?
No. These entities. What are they again? Little Dipper?
Oh, the constellations?
Yeah, constellations. Fucking they named it so much I purposely erased it from my head. He wants us to make these constellations in a 3D map, if that makes sense. So if you were to stand from a certain perspective in the room, it would actually look like the constellation.
Yeah.
And I'm like, of course, you got the XYZ coordinates, so you have to place these dots, so they can't just be completely and utterly, just, oh, look, I made a little dipper on just a piece of paper. It won't work that way. He wants it actually 3-dimensional and space out accordingly to the, what do they call it?
Perspective was an interesting thing for, like, the constellations, because I remember people, I was watching, like, Science Channel or something, and they were talking about how if you were to see our constellations from, like, let's say Alpha Centauri, which I believe was the closest solar system, was it, right?
Mm-hmm.
That it would look completely different. Like, you'd have none of our constellations just about, basically,
Yeah.
Because, like, when you did that, the star positions and lines would completely disconnect from each other.
Yeah, basically. And that's extra credit assignment. And I'm like, gonna make mine fucking with LEDs and fucking make planets glow. It'll be phenomenal. It'll have battery. It'll have a battery cat, so when like the battery runs out and I'm not around, they could actually put batteries in it, flip a switch, and it'll work. It'll be fucking phenomenal. I want to do it.
It's like you've got a what were they called? You got a little microchip or whatever on below it, that's they got a setup with calculations and all that tells you what happens when you take the Earth and rotate it the other way. How the constellations completely changed but are now backwards. Or some crap like that.
It'll be like the Da Vinci Code for the new students. But yeah. Oh, and apparently Alexis pointed out that if you inquire what astrology is versus astronomy versus astrology, he'll get extremely fucking pissed. He'll answer the question, but he'll be pissed because he says astrology is just the artsy-fartsy, looking up at the stars and just watching shit. But astronomy is the exact science of it all.
Yeah.
And so far, I fucking believe him, considering that I'm fucking doing it. You know what? You know what tomorrow is? Wait, no, not tomorrow. Fucking Monday. Monday. Fucking star maps. We're gonna read star maps, and I'm like, God damn it, I don't want to read a star map.
Sounds interesting.
I mean, I'm glad that I understood the fact that, when everyone was all derp, I completely comprehended what the Earth was doing. Even though it took a while to comprehend what the Earth was doing, I understood what it was doing from what it was trying to explain to the class, right?
Yeah.
I'm glad on that. But at the same time, I'm somewhat disturbed because it's like, if I keep doing good, I might get more bullshit from him.
Well, you mean, like, it'll be like, oh, this student obviously wants to work. Let's give him more work.
He's like, this kid, he likes it. Yeah, exactly. And it's not going to be light work.
See, the thing about inspiring people is you got to be careful not to overstep your bounds,
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I've inspired them to look at this stuff, so what I'm going to do is just pile it onto them. No, that's a terrible idea.
Yeah. I mean, I'm fine with it, but I don't want to. I don't want to do that. I love rockets and science and stuff like that, but I don't want to do it. Like in environmental science, I sat there dumb as shit. when people were naming greenhouse gases, I only knew I didn't even know carbon dioxide. I was just like,
what? You didn't know carbon dioxide? It's like carbon dioxide, methanol,
sulfur.
What was there's more than that. I forget.
CDCs? What was it?
Oh, you mean that stuff that they took out of spray cans and stuff?
Yeah.
CFCs?
Yeah, CFCs.
CFCs.
Oh.
Actually, I wonder if.
But apparently,
it'd be kind of funny if there was CFCs in this. There's a CF sprayer.
Oh, apparently, it's banned to have CFCs in aerosols, right?
Yeah.
But in order to counteract that, they try to make something that wasn't as harmful, but came out to be literally 100 times worse than CFCs. But
yeah, I've heard of that. It was some guy that was like making these great discoveries and stuff, and he would make quite a few of them.
Mm-hmm.
But they were all completely opposite of what he was trying to do. That's what was terrible about it. It's like you couldn't help but feel bad for the poor scientist who was just like, I've got to help people, so I'm going to do is I'm going to do this. And it's like, oh, it's the greatest thing ever. And then like down the line, they're just like, what were we doing that was killing everyone? It's like, I wouldn't doubt if the guy that discovered CFCs was the one who tried to fix it. He just screwed it more.
I wouldn't doubt it either.
Like that's the problem with not knowing exactly what's going to happen. Is you end up making terrible things, you know?
Exactly.
Like I don't think
Albert Einstein thought he was shit.
Yeah, I don't think he knew he was gonna make a bomb. Basically, he was just like, oh, we can pull out all this energy, and then the government was like, yeah, we can, and then we can push it into other people.
A lot of energy, you say? Like how much?
Energy, gravity, time. Yes. And then the next thing you know, red matter bombs.
Fuck red matter bombs. Also, I like how I was going through the textbook, and I found like this little figure about an astronaut going into a black hole, and I read it, right?
Yeah.
And for some odd reason,
different interesting perceptions on that.
There was just a general consensus that regardless of what happens, we're gonna lose communication. What?
He's pretty much dead, and we're not gonna be able to talk to him. That's about the gist of it.
Yeah, basically.
Because if you go any further, you start getting some pretty complicated. Don't fire lasers anywhere.
You want it to go down.
I don't want this to go down at all.
Yeah. You sure about that?
Yes.
Well,
fill it in.
Here's
dirt.
Look, dirt. A lot of dirt. What are you doing with this much dirt?
I got plenty of dirt. I don't know why. Just do. I didn't want it. I didn't ask for this. Okay.
You sure?
Seems like a bit much for a. Yeah, whatever. Gonna just put this here because I can. These are like the poorest uses of materials I've ever really done, but I don't care. I've never had a spawner in my main one though, so it's really no different. It's dirt.
So, cows, why haven't you produced any leather?
You got a problem with the cows?
Yeah, they're not producing leather.
Sick
Not producing leather. They're not producing leather.
Why would you beat those poor cows up?
What's the cow's sex cooldown?
What?
What's cooldown for their sex? Because I need more cows.
I don't know.
I need so much cows. So many cows.
Did you get all the sugar cane from the chest over there?
Yeah, as much as I could, yeah.
Alright. I wasn't sure because I was thinking about going down to it.
I've noticed for some odd reason the game isn't as laggy as it usually is. I think they really did optimize something.
No, nothing changed. The thing is that when you're in the game long enough, it takes up more and more memory, and sometimes it gets out of hand and doesn't delete itself. So it just inflates, and then eventually just start bogging to hell.
Weird.
Can't be helped.
It's not like quitting the damn server.
If you quit the game and come back in, you'd probably be better off.
Yes.
But it's more work. Just don't waste time. Just
right.
lag to death, trust me. I'm your friend. Maybe. I've yet to decide that.